Hey everyone, Dr. Mungli here. So, do you know what are the two enzymes in our body that needs obligate activators and why do they need obligate activators? Let's get into the video to know more details. First one is pyruvate carboxylase enzyme and the second one is carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme. Now the pyruvate carboxylase enzyme, it is there in the gluconeogenesis pathway, and carbamoylphosphate synthetase number 1 enzyme, it is participating in the urea cycle. Now pyruvate carboxylase enzyme is one of the regulated enzyme for gluconeogenesis, whereas carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme is the most regulated enzyme for urea cycle. Now, let's get into the details of each one of these two enzymes that needs obligate activator. So, the first one is pyruvate carboxylase. What is the function of pyruvate carboxylase? Pyruvate carboxylase, it's going to convert pyruvate into oxaloacetate. And why do you need oxaloacetate? Oxaloacetate is one of the requirement for TCA cycle, that is citric acid cycle. Why? Because oxaloacetate is going to combine with acetyl-CoA to make citrate, and citrate gets into the TCA cycle. Now that's why you need oxaloacetate there. And also whenever TCA cycle is saturated, at that time and when there is too much of acetyl-CoA that is building up, and this acetyl-CoA, what it does, it is going to have a feedback effect on an enzyme called pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme, and this pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme, it is going to decrease the conversion of pyruvate into acetyl-CoA because simply cell has got too much of acetyl-CoA. At that time what will happen to the pyruvate then? So the same pyruvate which is now not going into acetyl-CoA side, so it is diverted into oxaloacetate formation, and that is done by enzyme pyruvate carboxylase enzyme. And this pyruvate carboxylase, it is a carboxylation catalyzing enzyme. That means it is going to catalyze carboxylation reaction where a 3 carbon pyruvate is condensed with carbon dioxide to make 4 carbon oxaloacetate. And since it's a carboxylation, it's a ligation process, so pyruvate carboxylase belongs to ligase class of enzyme. Now acetyl-CoA is necessary for this pyruvate carboxylase enzyme because acetyl-CoA is an obligate activator of this enzyme. Why? Because when acetyl-CoA combines with the pyruvate carboxylase, it is going to change the conformation of this enzyme and thereby it increases the carboxylation process. Then why it is referred as an obligate activator? Because acetyl-CoA, it will come from oxidation of fatty acid. So under fasting condition and starvation, so fatty acids present means they are stored in the adipose tissue as triacylglycerol. So under fasting condition and starvation, so fatty acids present means they are stored in the adipose tissue as triacylglycerol. These triacylglycerol will undergo a breakdown process mediated by hormone sensitive lipase enzyme, which is activated by glucagon, and thereby fatty acids are flooding into the blood, and these fatty acids are coming to the liver, and in the liver fatty acids will undergo beta oxidation process. And when the beta oxidation, the product of beta oxidation is, one of the product of beta oxidation is acetyl-CoA. So there will be a lot of acetyl-CoA in the matrix of mitochondria because beta oxidation goes on in the matrix of mitochondria. So this acetyl-CoA now it is going to bind to pyruvate carboxylase, thereby pyruvate is diverted into oxaloacetate. What is the necessity for that? Remember, beta oxidation is going on because fatty acids are flooding into the liver, flooding into the tissues, and that is because person is in fasting and starvation. Glucagon is mediating all this, and the same glucagon, what it does, it is going to keep pyruvate carboxylase active. In fact, glucagon is going to induce pyruvate carboxylase enzyme because person is in fasting, person is in starvation. So that means blood glucose levels need to be maintained, and one of the process that maintains blood glucose after glycogenolysis is gluconeogenesis, and that's why pyruvate has to be converted into oxaloacetate, because simply there are too much of acetyl-CoAs to handle by TCA cycle, and in fact TCA cycle is kind of saturated there. So the pyruvate, which is converted into oxaloacetate, it is converted into malate further, and that malate is going out into the cytoplasm to be converted back into oxaloacetate, and oxaloacetate will go back all the way to glucose formation. So under fasting and starvation, and whenever there is excess acetyl-CoAs are available, simply because TCA cycle may be saturated, at that time, in order to provide oxaloacetate, whether it is to go towards the gluconeogenesis process to maintain blood glucose level, or to make oxaloacetate for TCA cycle, in either way, pyruvate carboxylase will make sure oxaloacetate is made and that is provided, and that can either go into glucose formation if it is going out of the mitochondria in the form of malate, or it can go into TCA cycle. That's the purpose of pyruvate carboxylase, and that needs acetyl-CoA as an obligate activator. Remember that. That's why pyruvate carboxylase, it is going to be activated by acetyl-CoA, because acetyl-CoA is the indication that there is a lot of pyruvate that is available there, and the pyruvate is no more is going into acetyl-CoA. There is a lot of acetyl-CoA, so acetyl-CoA will have a positive effect on pyruvate carboxylase. Thereby pyruvate is diverted into oxaloacetate and it is going into gluconeogenesis, or simply provide oxaloacetate for TCA cycle to continue. That's the importance of pyruvate carboxylase. More on this, I have a link below this video. Now, what about carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme? Note that carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1, it needs an obligate activator called N-acetylglutamate, and this N-acetylglutamate itself is synthesized by two molecules, that is acetyl-CoA and glutamate. Remember, acetyl-CoA is elevated whenever there is beta oxidation is going on. More and more fatty acids are increased, flooding into the blood and going into the tissues, and especially in the liver, fatty acids are undergoing beta oxidation and more acetyl-CoAs are coming. So under fasting and starvation, so there is more beta oxidation going on, right? And also when the person is exercising. So beta oxidation means more acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA is available plenty. At the same time, remember, when person is in fasting state or in starvation, or in fact if the person is in negative nitrogen balance condition, right? So where more and more protein turnover is going on, if the protein degradation is going on, so there is more of transamination reaction going on. In transamination, what happens? An amino acid is losing its amino group, primary amino group, and transfer that primary amino group to alpha ketoglutarate, and thereby alpha ketoglutarate is converted to glutamate. So at the end of every transamination reaction, right, there is a formation of glutamate. If it is going from amino acid to alpha ketoglutarate and that becoming glutamate in that direction, which needs pyridoxal phosphate, of course. So there is a formation of glutamate. So excess glutamate indicates more transamination going on, indicating there is more protein degradation going on. So there is a availability of this ammonium ion, because transamination process means what? Ammonia, primary amino group, it is transferred from one amino acid to other keto acid, which is becoming a glutamate now. Alpha ketoglutarate is becoming glutamate. So glutamate is carrying that amino group, which has to be handled by the liver now. So how to handle it? So excess glutamate means more transamination, more ammonium ion is available, which is there in the glutamate now, right? Acetyl-CoA, excess acetyl-CoA means what? Person is in starvation, person is in fasting condition, and where more and more beta oxidation is going on, more substrate is available. So excess acetyl-CoA, excess glutamate, both can combine to make N-acetylglutamate. So acetyl-CoA combining with glutamate to become N-acetylglutamate, and this is done by N-acetylglutamate synthase enzyme, NAG synthase enzyme. Now, this N-acetylglutamate synthase itself is positively modulated by arginine. Why? Because arginine is also sufficiently available if the person is in negative nitrogen balance condition. What is negative nitrogen balance? Negative nitrogen balance condition means whenever the amount of protein that is coming into our body is much less than the amount of nitrogen that is going out of our body in the form of urea. So that means our cells are not utilizing all the amino acids that are coming in. So that means arginine is not completely utilized. So arginine is building up. So excess arginine simply indicates there is excess amino acids are available. So which are needed to be broken down because it's a negative nitrogen condition. So higher presence of arginine in the cell, especially in the liver, indicating that cell is not utilizing the amino acids for protein synthesis. So those amino acids will undergo breakdown process where the carbon skeleton either goes into glucose formation or ketone body formation. The primary amino group has to be converted into urea for safe excretion. So that's an indication. So availability of acetyl-CoA, availability of glutamate and availability of arginine all indicates that person either in negative nitrogen balance condition or person is in starvation fasting condition where there is an expectation of more ammonia that is coming and that has to be handled to make urea. So that is why acetyl-CoA combines with glutamate to make N-acetylglutamate, and that is promoted by the presence of arginine by arginine acting as a positive modulator on NAG synthase. So NAG synthase makes N-acetylglutamate. Right? Now what is the role of N-acetylglutamate? N-acetylglutamate will go and bind to carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme, thereby positively modulate that enzyme and increases the condensation of ammonium ion with carbon dioxide using ATPs, 2 ATPs. In fact, to make carbamoylphosphate. Very first reaction in the urea cycle, the most regulated and rate limiting step for urea cycle. So that means what? Presence of N-acetylglutamate simply indicates there is availability of acetyl-CoA, there is availability of glutamate, there is availability of arginine. It's a negative nitrogen balance condition, it's a starvation, fasting condition, catabolic condition going on. And that's why carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme need to be activated, and that is why NAG is an obligate activator of carbamoylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme. So this is exactly the reason why acetyl-CoA is a obligate activator of pyruvate carboxylase, because it indicates there is excess acetyl-CoA, means person either in fasting condition or there is a decrease in oxaloacetate which has to be resynthesized by diverting pyruvate into oxaloacetate. That is why it's an obligate activator there. Thereby gluconeogenesis, blood glucose maintenance is done or to continue the TCA cycle. So carbamylphosphate synthetase 1 NAG, that is N-acetylglutamate, is an obligate activator because whenever there is sufficient N-acetylglutamate is made in the mitochondrial matrix, it simply indicates there is excess acetyl-CoA, excess glutamate and excess arginine, indirectly indicating that person either in negative nitrogen balance, starvation, fasting, more and more transamination going on. So urea has to be synthesized to handle ammonium ion, otherwise ammonium ion will be toxic to our neuronal cells, especially hyperammonemia. In order to prevent that, urea cycle has to be stimulated, it has to be conducted, and that's why NAG acts as an obligate activator on carbamylphosphate synthetase 1 enzyme. So this is exactly why these are the two obligate activators on pyruvate carboxylase and carbamylphosphate synthetase 1 respectively. That is acetyl-CoA for the first one and NAG is for the second one. So that's about it. I hope this video has helped you in understanding why, what are the two enzymes that needs obligate activator and what all those two obligate activators, what all those two enzymes and what is the importance of that. That's about it. I will meet you in my next video. Till then, you take care.